Hello and welcome to this short session on understanding mental health and well-being and how to look after your own better. My name is Heather Beach and I'm going to be your guide for today. For as long as I can remember, I've been learning about and studying what helps people thrive in life no matter what life throws at them. So first of all, let's look at some basic definitions. Let's think first of all about what well-being actually means. It's multifaceted. It takes a complex mix of a person's physical, mental, emotional, and social health into account. What about, for example, if you have a touch of dementia? Do you think you can still have good well-being? So, can you have good well-being when you're elderly? You will see that well-being is subjective. It's how you think and feel about your life, as it is strongly linked to happiness and life satisfaction. It is possible to have good well-being and still have an illness and still be old. However, having good physical health is obviously helpful, and there are lots of aspects to the link between physical and mental health which we will be exploring today. Now let's look at the term mental health. What are the first things that come to mind for you when you hear the words mental health? Often, we actually think of mental illness when we hear the words mental health. Even a Google search will show this. A Google search for mental health reveals word clouds of mental illness, or someone with their head in their hands, whereas a search for physical health shows positive images. Mental health is something we all have. It's part of our overall health, and it can be a neutral or a positive term. It's about our self-awareness, our resilience, our capacity to manage the ups and downs of life. Mental distress is something we may suffer from time to time when we feel stretched to capacity or we face an adverse life event, which we all do from time to time. Mental illness is when we get to a point when signs and symptoms impact our day-to-day life and make it harder for us to do the things we used to find easy. And this can make us ill, perhaps with something like anxiety or depression. Life events, our environment, and our genes can all impact our mental health. It is fluid and changes throughout our lives. This image here shows Corey Key's continuum of flourishing. In the past, we used to consider someone as either mentally well or ill, and this concept here is much more subtle. It recognises that we can all move around this continuum throughout our lives, particularly when life events make things difficult, or if we may have a mental illness, which causes us to need to find the right route back through to flourishing. It's not just as simple as a lack of symptoms making us well and a presence of symptoms making us unwell. We may indeed suffer with a mental illness, but manage to control that illness and actually thrive in our day-to-day life, work and relationships. Keyes found that there are people who portray distinct signs of mental illness, for example, depressive symptoms, while at the same time displaying a moderately high level of psychological health. For example, they have a good perception of the meaning of their life. You may be able to think of one or two people in public life, such as Stephen Fry, who may fit this description. Conversely, there are quite a lot of people who are clearly neither mentally ill nor particularly mentally healthy, a state which Keyes calls languishing. Let's turn briefly to some of the impact of poor mental health. Globally, one person dies every 10 minutes due to suicide. 17% of people will self-harm during their lifetime, and those numbers are on the rise. And then depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide and is a major contributor to the overall global burden of disease. So why does mental health and well-being matter to us as individuals, to our friends and to our families? Because we only have one life. Whilst we are all likely to have struggles, both mental and physical, learning how to manage these and find a route through to flourishing is important for ourselves and those that we love. We've all been on an airline and seen that sign which says, "Put your own oxygen mask on before you help others." The same is true of our own mental health and well-being. In order to manage all the responsibilities we have, we need to manage our own well-being to be the best that we can be for others every single day. There are so many things to consider when we look at self-care, including very much our own preferences. However, what we generally find is that there are some key pillars of well-being, some areas which everybody should pay some attention to. And these generally are the things which go out of the window first when we're struggling with our mental health. Let's look first of all at good nutrition. Open any magazine or newspaper and you will find the latest trend in nutrition and diet. Our rules are pretty simple. Cooking from scratch as often as possible to avoid the sugar and salt which goes into much processed food. Eating a wide range of fruit and vegetables. This might often mean prepping food in advance to make sure that you have that to hand when you're hungry and that takeaway is beckoning. Eating a balanced diet. The Mediterranean diet is often held up as the best example, or some countries where a protein-rich diet is common, such as Iceland where they eat a lot of fish. Then we have exercise. Any physical exercise is better than none at all, and many of us live quite sedentary lifestyles. Get off the bus a stop earlier, always take the stairs. These are easy ways to bring exercise into our lives without having to go to the gym. However, something which gets our heart rate up is best. That encourages those happy chemicals such as endorphins. Sleep is the unsung hero of well-being and something many of us have to work hard on these days, especially if we work shifts. Almost all of us need between 7 and 9 hours sleep every night. And there are things which will help encourage that, such as switching off our phone or laptops earlier, writing a worry list or a to-do list well before bed, having a dark, cool room and a comfy bed. Even just going to bed half an hour earlier might well help. If you're struggling with your sleep, we suggest you look at our sleep video. And then there's relaxation, which involves doing something which enables you to rest from work. The best type of relaxation is actually active rest, where your brain and body are busy with something non-work related, such as creativity or volunteering or being out for a walk with your family. But our bodies in general just need so much more rest than we give them these days. Finally, we have managing our thinking. We don't normally as human beings consider enough the fact that our thoughts are not the truth. Human beings just take what happens and then we create an interpretation around that thing and we relate to that interpretation as the truth. That person hates me, I'm useless, I'm hopeless. An angry look from a co-worker, an argument with our partner, we can dwell on these and spiral into negative thinking all too easily. There are many ways to start taking more control of our thinking. These include being self-aware and understanding what we're thinking, rationalising that. What am I thinking or feeling and why? Can I challenge that? Is it really true that I'm useless and hopeless? This comes from cognitive behavioural therapy. Perspective, this is what's happening to us and taking that into a broader time frame. For example, will this matter in 6 months' time? Or is this a life or death situation, as some of us may say? Writing everything down can be very, very helpful, helping us to shape our thoughts and get them into perspective, or speaking to someone non-judgmental. Then we have the idea of noticing our thoughts and emotions as opposed to allowing them to run away with us. I notice that I'm feeling angry. I wonder what that's about. The benefits of mindfulness to all of this is also clear. Mindfulness helps us develop a space between something happening and our reaction to it. It just slows us down. This is all a delicate balance. It is okay to be upset and to cry and to be angry. It's actually not things in detail which are overwhelming you at work, or perhaps doing a spreadsheet of your finances. And then there's being honest about those unhelpful coping strategies which many of us employ when things get difficult. Perhaps we're heading to the fridge too often for things which are bad for us, or we're smoking too much, drinking too much, or many of us will bury our head in the sand and not